All right, first of all, I hope you can't hear the power tools that are being used very close by. All right, let's talk about same-sex couples, same-sex romantic partnerships, including same-sex marriage and committed relationships. All right, one issue is, for a long time, research largely neglected same-sex couples, partially because there was a lot of closeting for various practical reasons. Individuals were kind of hidden for their own safety or for legal reasons, or if you were doing specific research on marriage, on legally recognized marriage, well, there were many individuals who were in marriage-like relationships but not legally married, because you couldn't get married in all 50 states in the United States until 2015, until fairly recently. And so, there have been various barriers to having good available data on same-sex couples. We need more data, because we now do acknowledge, like, oh yeah, we forgot. Some people are gay, or lesbian, or bi, or pan. And by the way, I think I might have mentioned this in a previous video. It might have been for a previous class. But the largest out of gay, lesbian, and bisexual, the largest percentage, the largest category is bi. There is a lot of bi erasure, where we kind of completely forget that some people are bisexual. Some people are bisexual. Many people are bisexual. And sometimes there's this confusing element that when you're bi and you get married, people are like, oh, you've chosen a side. And no, that person's still bi. They're just married to that one person who was a good partner for them. It's not like they completely stop liking people of the other sex or the other gender. All right, but I've heard reports of that. I've seen that happening, where they're like, I knew they weren't really straight. I knew they weren't really gay. It's like this idea that people are just waiting for people to pick a side, to pick a team. We really like that binary. But yeah, many people are bi. All right, if you marry someone who is man or woman, doesn't mean you're no longer bi. All right. Other than that issue, when we look at romantic relationships, one area of research has been, well, like, are there differences? When you compare same-sex couples to opposite-sex couples, do we see any big differences? And we don't find, when we try to find them, when we design studies that are specifically meant to compare same-sex and opposite-sex couples, we see remarkable similarity. Remarkable similarity in terms of satisfaction, in terms of rates of divorce. Some same-sex couples do break up. Also, opposite-sex couples break up. Neither group has 100% satisfaction and 100% staying together for the long haul. And so you see remarkable similarity, and you do see some differences between cohabitation and married. Just like slightly more difference in same-sex couples compared to opposite-sex couples. And so the thing is, whenever we try to find these differences, they often are not there. Now, that having been said, people don't always know about or respect research from the social sciences. And so a lot of people will still insist that there must be differences there, particularly when same-sex couples have children. And this is one thing that I often will talk more about when I teach the psychology of infancy and childhood class. But to give you the short version of things, lots of same-sex couples have children, sometimes from previous relationships, or also they can adopt, they can use assisted reproductive technology. And when they have children, people will definitely assume, well, no, that has to be different. A child needs a mom and a dad. Things will go horribly wrong. But guess what? Again, when we look for differences, we really don't find, and when we do, they are small and they're highly specific, and they're usually in the direction of an advantage for the same-sex parents. So, and again, these are, small differences. When we look for the differences, we do not see them, even though people insist they must be there, possibly because they've grown up being exposed to so many stereotypes that they think, well, some of these stereotypes must be true, right? And so if you have heard that with same-sex couples there is more infidelity or promiscuity within the relationship, false. If you heard that they're more likely to have a divorce, false. All right. And so just a little bit of myth busting there. Again, in certain other classes, I will sometimes go into more detail about these topics. But for this class, for the lifespan developmental psychology, that's what I'm going to cover.